Okay, so we've talked kind of broadly about the countries you've been to, the best locations and stuff like that, but let's talk about some of the specific species, because obviously in 6,800 plus species, there must be a few that stand out specifically in your memory. So what were some of the most memorable species that you saw during your big year?
One of the best sightings, well, we already discussed the species, was harpy eagle. I actually had the fortune of seeing it 3 times during my big year. And one was special because, we have to travel back in time a bit. It was 2015, just 3 months prior to my big year. And I was invited on one of the biggest Dutch talk shows to talk about my big year. And the presenter, the host of the show, Umberto Tan, is like a very famous Dutch person.
This is the man who was named best dressed man in the Netherlands, right?
Yes, best dressed man. Okay. And he said, of course you can come on my show, but I want to go birding with you for one morning. So, a couple of days later we went birding. He with a camera crew. And he loved it, he fell in love with bird watching. I took him to a banding station. I put a gold crest in his hand. He could see this.
Changed his life.
Yeah, it changed his life. Like he had this 5 grams bird in his hand, and he was like completely godsmacked. And so he went birding with me, without a camera crew, twice more, and then he said, can I not join you on your big year somewhere? I said, well, you're one of the most busiest people in the Netherlands. I don't think it's possible. He said, are you going to Suriname? I'm actually from Suriname. He was born there. And he said, I have to do this talk show till June, July, and then I have to report on the Olympics in Brazil. So, in between, maybe I can. And I actually was doing Suriname in the first week of July. So there I was, half a year later, arriving on Paramaribo Airport, and there was Umberto Tan, this famous Dutch person. So we traveled into the jungle with Michiel van den Berg, the director of the documentary, and Sindil Roosem and Fred Panza, the 2 guides. And at some point, Michiel had to go to rush to hospital because he had caught malaria 2 weeks prior when traveling with me in Ghana. So at the end, Umberto and I and the guides were just in this remote place, in the jungle, in the hammock next to each other. And Umberto said, just before we went to bed, he said, what would be the best bird we could ever see? I said, well, Umberto, harpy eagle, but it's incredibly rare. We don't have a nesting site. Don't count on it. But if we see it, you will have goosebumps on your arm. Next day, we were in this van driving on a longing road through the jungle. And Fred, the guide, was sitting on the top of the van, to have a good view of the canopy. And so at some point he slammed on the roof of the van, and he shouted. So I knew it was something incredibly rare. We jumped out, and there was this huge female harpy sitting in this dead tree next to the road. And I put it on the scope, frame-filling views as it sat there, completely unobtrusive, 15-minute views, and then the bird opened its wings, and it glided right over our heads into the jungle, and then Umberto he said, come, look, and he had completely goosebumps all over his arm. Yeah, so that was just top. That was an incredible sighting, and also, of course, white-necked picatartes in the jungles of Ghana, and you have to imagine I was there with the 2 people camera crew of my big year documentary, and the great thing, my biggest hero is David Attenborough, Sir David Attenborough, and he actually, he was launched into the limelight in, I think, 1963, while he was doing the Zoo Quest documentaries for the BBC. And actually, during one of those expeditions, he was traveling to Sierra Leone in West Africa, looking for this picatartes, as he called it. And he was there, at a nesting site, this overhanging cliff face with these mud cup nests of the picatartes, and he was watching that bird, and actually that footage, travel all over the world, and actually the
very first one ever made,
Yeah. it launched his career, you know. And there I was, 65 years later, I think, 65 or yeah, later, with a camera crew, you know, in the footsteps of my hero David Attenborough, looking at this Picatarty. So, and it was a simply amazing bird, you know. I was like literally didn't take my binoculars off my only to take pictures. I watched it just like continuously for 45 minutes. It was simply incredible.
Incredible views.